You are braver than you believe, stronger than you seem, and smarter than you think. You really are. Believe these things. Why not believe these things? They're good things to believe. Put it in your mind. Remember those things. Maybe that's your mantra for today. Hi, I'm Jan. This is 316 Yoga. This is your yoga from home. Why do this yoga? Because you can do this yoga. You do this yoga because you feel free to modify it your way. Do the yoga that feels right for you. The bottom of the screen says, there it says, do what's right for your body, your one and only body. Nobody else is like you. You are unique. You know what hurts you have. You know what hurts you have today. You know what chronic hurts you have. You know what injuries you've had. You know what you feel like doing. Give yourself the freedom to do what feels right for you. The yoga should feel good. It should never hurt. If it hurts, back out of it. Don't do it. Take it to a lesser percentage. Not every pose is for every body. So give yourself that permission. So important. It's a 1 hour long practice. Every day we practice together live, start to finish, no cuts. It's real. It's just like being in a class. So maybe that's a plus for you too. 1 hour long, do what you can with what you got. Maybe you only stick around for the warm-up and then you go child's pose or final shavasana for the rest of the practice. Just do what you can. Every day is different. Like I said, every day is different in that sometimes we do a vinyasa practice, sometimes we do a yin practice, sometimes we do restorative practice. And Fridays we do Yoga Plus where we incorporate bar and Pilates and hand weights. And it's just to shake it up. So life is hard. Your yoga shouldn't be. And that's the word to think about today is yoga. Yoga means to yoke or to bind. It means the union, the bonding of your mind, your body, and your spirit. And you just feel better after you do your yoga. One of the ways we measure that is in the beginning of the practice, like right now, we take a stress number. On a scale of 1 to 5 or 1 to 10, give it a number, like frowny face to smiley face, but give it a tangible number. So when we come back at the end of the practice and I ask you the same thing, what's your stress number? You'll see that it comes down. It really does. You just feel better in your body. Okay, get that stress number locked in. Grab your props, a couple of yoga blocks, maybe a little hand towel that can slip under your knees when we're on our knees if that feels better. And maybe a strap if you want. Have some water handy too, and let's come on up to standing. Okay, we always do this little warm up just to get the body moving a little bit. All right, so here's the deal. First thing we're going to do is take that confidence stance. In your confidence stance, your feet are a little wider than hip width distance. Put your hands on your hips, send your elbows back and down, lift your chest up. You've got that stress number locked in. Mine's kind of high right now. I don't know if you can hear her scratching in her bed, but all right, take a deep breath in. And a big sighing breath out through your mouth. So in through the nose and out through the mouth. Big confidence stance, shoulders are back and down, your chest feels lifted. Start to come up onto the balls of your feet. Be mindful of keeping your heels behind your feet. Don't let them splay to the side or collapse in. So just work on that form. First of all, don't worry about coming up so high. Keep the heels behind the toes. And you know, totally fine if you have a chair nearby. Chair you can hold on to for extra balance. So lift and lower. I've got a new little balancing pose we're going to do in just a second. Just because balance is so important. It's one of those skills, use it or lose it. Stick with it, work your balance. Right now, we are working our balance and we're working our foundation, strengthening in the feet and the ankles. Lift on up, maybe hang out a little higher on the ball of the foot and just hold it here for a moment or two because you can, yes you can. Have that confidence. All right, when you're ready, come on down, place the heel down and lift your toes up and give them a little wiggle. All right, let's take a more comfortable stance, whatever feels natural for you. Lift your arms on up to the sky. A bend in the elbows is a fine modification. Reach on up nice and high. This is your extended mountain pose. Interlace your fingers. Send your palms up to the sky. Maybe a bend in the elbows feels better. And start to sway from side to side. In through the nose and out through the mouth. All right, as you sway from side to side, just think of stretching out the spine. Maybe when you get to the side, you can reach your palms to the side of the room. Bring your top shoulder back, bring your chin away from your chest, and just stretch. Slowly come back up and take it to the other side. No rush, no hurry. This is your yoga, your way. Do what feels good. Remember that top shoulder, bring it back. Chin away from the chest, and just feel the big stretch in your side body. I'm going to reach my hands a little more to the side of the room, and then I'm going to slowly come back up and just sway a little bit from side to side like a tropical island palm tree. Let's finish up here. Hands go high, release the fingers, let the arms float down. Put your hands at your low back, push your belly forward, squeeze your elbows toward your spine. Just let it feel good. Take each pose to what feels good in your body. Be mindful of how you're feeling. Pushing the hips forward, looking up to where the ceiling and the wall meet, maybe looking higher up overhead. Breathe in, breathe out, take what's comfortable, take it slowly. When you're ready, as you inhale, come on back up, shoulders over your hips, and then exhale again, sending your belly button back towards your spine, letting your fingers, your arms hang toward the earth. Don't lock your knees. Put a little gentle bend in your knees. No, nothing wrong with that, because your hamstrings mine are really tight right now. So put a little bend in the knees, that feels good. Let the fingers work toward the earth, and then your head. Send your chin towards your chest as the crown of your head comes toward the earth. As you take a big breath in, your belly's going to push off your thighs, and then a big breath out. Exhale, belly button to the spine. Just let everything go. That bend in the knees feels good. Try it. When you're ready, arms sweep on up. Come on back up to a standing position. Back to your extended mountain. Lengthen. Soften in the shoulders as you exhale. Let your arms float to a T position. Start to draw little arm circles, maybe to the back of the room to begin, and just think of strength in your upper back. Think of strengthening the upper back. Be nice and strong and tall here. But don't forget your knees. Bend your knees. When your hands come down, let your knees bend. When your arms come up, straighten in the knees. So just little arm circles, little knee bends. Knee bends don't have to be very big. Arm circles don't have to be very big. You do what feels good and wakes you up. Take the arm circles in the other direction. Remember to breathe and just think about your knees. Think when you go to sit down and sit back, just bend the knees. Take it slow. Feel good. Move so you can move. You don't want to become stiff and unable to move. You gotta move. Every little bit helps. Bring your arms down by your sides. Wiggle your shoulders. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Big coat swing. This is a big twist in your waist. Your arms are heavy and loose. You're not holding on to them at all. You're going to twist and look over one shoulder, then the other. Really try to look over your shoulder. Really look back. Arms are loose, you're tapping your hip, you're tapping your backside. Twist, twist. Imagine your body as a washcloth. And think of wringing out that washcloth, and you're wringing out your waist. Really look over your shoulder. Then the other. Twist, twist. And then we'll finish up. Come back to the midline of your body. Here's a different little pose. We don't do this very often. All right, take a big X shape. So spread your feet a little bit, spread your arms a little bit, press the backs of your hands to the back of the room like you do in that You Will Look Taller pose. Feel your chest lift. Breathe in. Breathe out, soften up. Let's do a shooting star pose. So just come onto one foot. Come onto one foot. Maybe the other foot is a little bit of a kickstand on the earth, or maybe you lift it up. Breathe here. Think of a straight line from the crown of your head all the way down through the center of your foot. Maybe a little bit of hang time here. Hold on. Then take it to the other side. Find your balance. Be comfortable. Maybe the toes of the extended legs stay down all the time, or maybe you lift them. Just find your balance. Focus. Look up. Look up to where the ceiling and the wall meet. Let's do it again. Take it back to the starting foot. Breathe. And take it back to the other foot. And breathe. And then finish. Feet come down, hands to prayer center. Create a little mantra for your practice. Hands at prayer center, maybe close your eyes. Be aware of softening your shoulders away from your ears and lengthening the crown of your head up to the sky. With your hands in a prayer position and your thumbs pressed into your chest, think of a positive statement about you. Make it a good one. Make it positive. Don't hold back. How about I am wonderful? I am a new being. I am terrific. I am strong. I am brave. Any one of those. Pick it. Say it in your mind over and over today. Take a deep breath in. And a deep sighing breath out. Time for ragdoll pose. Do those I Dream of Jeannie arms, hands to opposite elbow creases. Lengthen up through the crown of your head and then hinge forward. As you hinge forward, have your feet at about hip width distance. Again, that bend in the knees feels good. Let your gaze come down towards your knees or up towards your belly button. Let your arms hang loose. Put a little bend in your knees. Think of your spine as decompressing. Think of your low back as decompressing. Oh yeah, that feels good. Let the crown of your head hang toward the earth as your chin is more tucked toward your chest. Start to sway your elbows just slightly. Little bend, little sway. Low back is loosening up. You're stretching it out. Remember when we took palm tree pose? That feeling through the intercostal muscles in the rib? Almost feel that in your low back. Just stretching from side to side. Bringing one elbow back toward the knee, then the other elbow back toward the other knee. And then when you're ready, ooh, feels so good. You could do this all day, right? When you're ready, bring your hands back to the midline of your body. Big breath in, big breath out. Release your fingers toward the mat and then bend your knees and come on down. You can put a towel under your knees if it doesn't feel good on your knees. Just a thought. Let's come into child's pose. Knees together, big toes touching, hips back to your heels. You could place a block under your chest here or under the forehead and rest on the block. Think of the blocks as bringing the ground up to meet you where you are. Arms can be down by your sides, palms face up, fingers reach toward the bottom of the mat. Stay here in your child's pose. If you have a half-size block, you think, oh, maybe this is a little too high, but going all the way down to the ground is a little too far. Use the half-size block. You can put your head on the ground if that feels good. Think of length in your spine and enjoy the nice stretch in your legs, your ankles, the release in your shoulders. Just a tight little concise ball. An option would be to take a wide-legged child's pose. Maybe you'd prefer that. Knees can be spread wide, big toes are still touching, hips go back to your heels. The block can bring the ground up to you here as well, but this time your arms are going to reach long to the top of the mat. Block under your forehead or a half-size block or no block at all. This is your child's pose, your Balasana, child's pose. Reach your fingers long to the top of the mat. Think of your tailbone going to the back of your mat. Maybe you soften in the shoulders and you bring your forearms down. It's all good. Just let it feel good. That's what we're after. Big breath in through the nose and a big sighing breath out through the mouth. When you're ready, if you'd like, close your lips and breathe in and out of your nose. This is the most efficient way for our body to breathe. Doesn't always work though. Maybe you've got allergies or a cold or just doesn't work. If that's the case, breathe any way you can, but just breathe deeply. Deep breaths. Pay attention to your breathing. If your breathing becomes shallow or you want to hold your breath, it means you're working too hard. Back out of it. Take a pose to a lesser percentage. Come back to your child's pose anytime you like. Maybe you decide to stay here because it feels so good. On your back, on your knees, on your shoulders. So many good things happening in this pose. If you want to come out, let's come out. Come on up to a neutral tabletop. For a neutral tabletop, you want to bring your knees under your hips and your shoulders over your wrists. Press the tops of your feet into your mat. Push into your hands. Take a deep breath in. And a deep breath out. Whatever feels good for you. Brief little cat-cow before we go into toes pose. Back to the feet and the foundation. Tuck your chin to your chest, tuck your tailbone under, arch your back up to the sky. Push the tops of your feet into your mat and push your hands into your mat. Your back is arched up like a Halloween cat. Take it to just the opposite of cow pose, tailbone and the crown of your head lift. Cat-cow, do a couple more, marrying it to your breath. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Really tuck your tailbone under. Inhale, cow. Stick with this. Stay with this. Do this. Get your rhythm going. if you like. Maybe this feels super good on your low back today. I'm going to finish in that cat-cow pose. We're going to come back and do cat-cow again, but right now I'm going to take it to a toes pose. I'm going to tuck my toes towards my shins. I'm going to have a seat back on my heels. So the toes are drawn toward the shins, and you're going to sit on your heels if you can. If it's uncomfortable, just hang with it. Take it to where you can do it. Maybe you hinge forward a little bit, or maybe you put your block behind your heels and have a seat there. If you want, bring your shoulders over your hips. Toes pose is intense, and a lot of people just can't do it. Don't want to do it. Feet are tight, and that's okay. No big deal. You do what you can with what you got. You can place your hands on your thighs here. Shoulders are down and away from your ears. You can take your hands and bring them behind your low back and reach your hands toward opposite elbow creases. Again, softening in the shoulders, expanding through the shoulders, and breathing deeply. Rest in your toes. Let your toes kind of just loosen up. Let them be. Don't hold on tightly. Breathe in, breathe out. Maybe eyes are closed. And if it's a little much for the shoulders, bring your hands to prayer center. Tell yourself your mantra. You're good enough. Totally good enough. Breathe in. Breathe out. All right, just one more cycle of breath here in your toes pose, then we'll go to ankle pose. But in this breath, I want you to just really let it all go in the toes. Just let it go. Take it to its fullest expression for you. Breathe in. Breathe out. Let it go. Your toes are strong. Your feet are strong. Let's come into an ankle pose. So remove your block. Bring your tops of your feet onto your mat and come on back and have a seat on your heels again, but now the tops of your feet are down on your mat. Whew, that's a relief, isn't it? Maybe that's a relief. Maybe this is more uncomfortable. Do what you can with what you got. Stay here. Bring your hands down to your mat or use your two blocks to bring the ground up to you, and then sit back onto your heels. Let your knees come on up off of the ground. Take this stretch to what feels good for you. Maybe you decide to not use the blocks. Maybe you use your hands as a little kickstand, or maybe you place your hands at prayer center and find your balance. Maybe you challenge that balance by closing your eyes. It's amazing how much greater a challenge it is with the eyes closed. Same pose, but with the eyes closed, it's really hard. Hold on here, stretch out the ankles. So now we've done a complete full range of motion stretch in the ankles. Let's finish here. Come on back to your neutral tabletop. Lift your feet up, squeeze and scrunch your toes. Circle your ankles this way and that. Tap the tops of your feet out onto your mat. Back to cat-cow again. Tuck your chin to your chest, tuck your tailbone under, push into your mat. Inhale, cow pose, tailbone and crown of the head lift. Do a few of these. Let it feel good. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. Come to a neutral tabletop. Extend your right leg long. Push the ball of the foot into your mat. Stretch it out. Just kind of move a little like a saw, back and forth a little bit, like you're a runner at a starting gate. Press into that foot. Let it feel super good. Lift the right leg up. Cross the right leg over the midline of the body. Bring the ball of the right foot down on the left side of the body. Ooh, feel that big stretch in the right side. Lengthen up in your spine. Twist and turn and look over your left shoulder. Look back to your ankle. Maybe you can even see your knee or your bottom. Breathe. Ooh, feel that good stretch. Sweep that extended right leg around and around and around. Bring it on up to maybe about hip height or whatever feels good. Send your right arm up to the sky so your whole torso is turned facing the right side of your mat. Look up to your hand. Maybe twist your neck a little more. Look up higher to your fingers. Plant your right hand down. Bring your right leg back to a natural position. Left leg extends. Push the ball of the foot into the mat. Breathe, runner at the starting line, maybe move a little bit, let it feel good in that foot. Lift the extended left leg, cross it over the midline, bring the ball of the foot down on the right side of the body. Lengthen through your spine, turn a little to the right, turn a little more to the right, look back to your foot, look back to your knee, look back to your bottom. breathe. We're going to do thread the needle today. All right, so bring your left foot around, plant it on down. Left arm goes up to the sky in preparation for that thread the needle pose. All right, so your hips are getting a nice move, your shoulder, your waist. Look up. Look up to your hand. You can look up more. And when you're ready, plant the right hand down. Sweep the left leg back. Have the left knee meet the right. Let's do cat-cow. Chin to your chest, tailbone tucks. Inhale, cow, tailbone and crown of the head lift. You're in a neutral tabletop now. Bring your head down as you're gazing between your thumbs. Lift your right arm up, up, up to the sky. Twist and look up. Exhale, thread the needle. Bring the right arm down. You can use a block to rest your shoulder on. Bring your right shoulder down to your block maybe, or maybe you want to rest your head on the block, letting the shoulder work toward the earth, and then your left arm is going to reach long to the top of your mat. You can have no block at all. Sending your hips back to your heels, adjust your knees, because everybody's, femur is a different length, so adjust your knees so you feel pretty good here. So you want to feel a nice stretch in that shoulder, the right shoulder. Reach the left fingers farther to the top of your mat. Reach your right arm more to the left side of your mat as your palm is face up. Stretch it out in your thread the needle pose. De-thread, unthread the needle. Slide the left arm back under the left shoulder. Right arm goes high up to the sky. Look up. Plant the right hand down. We have another side to do. Adjust in your neutral tabletop. Lift your left arm up, up, up to the sky. Twist and look up. Exhale, thread the needle, bringing the left arm under the right. Right arm reaches to the top of the mat. Use your blocks any way you like. Left shoulder comes down to the earth. Right arm reaches to the top of your mat. Breathe in, breathe out. Adjust your knees to what feels good. Left palm is up. Stretch and reach through all your fingertips. Your arms are kind of like in the shape of a letter L. Breathe. As you're ready, let's come out of it. Bring your right arm under your right shoulder. Left arm goes up to the sky and look up to your left hand. Finish up. Plant your hand. Guess what? It's time for a cat-cow cycle. Chin to your chest, tailbone under. Inhale, cow. Crown of the head, tailbone lifts. We're about to prepare to do a plank pose. All right, so think about what kind of plank you want to do. Do another cycle of cat-cow here. All right, neutral tabletop. Lots of ways you can take your plank. You could lie on your back completely. You could send your hands up to the sky and act as if the ceiling were the ground as you prepare for as you do a plank. If you haven't done a plank before, give that a try. All right, you can hinge forward here, bringing more weight into your arms, shoulders over your wrists, knees can adjust, and just send more weight into your hands and just hold it here. It's a fine position in which to be. Just be mindful of your elbows. Don't let them pop out to the side because you want proper alignment. You want to hug your elbows in so your arms are nice and straight so you get the maximum strength in the arms. Hold it right here, totally fine. You could take a high plank. That would be sending your legs long, having your shoulders over your wrists and your feet at hip width distance. Bring your belly button to your spine and hold it here for a high plank. I'm going to do a dolphin plank today. That is coming down onto the forearms. You could stay on your knees, have your elbows under your shoulders, forearms parallel to the sides of your mat, and your fingers spread wide. You can rest here, hinging the weight more forward, being strong in the arms. You can tuck your toes towards your shins. That's what I'm going to do. And then I'm going to pop on up and take my dolphin plank. Dwayne, please set a timer for 1 minute. There we go. I'm going to hold it as long as you want. Hold it as long as feels right for you. Take breaks when you need it. There's a timer on the screen if you want to time yourself. Breathe here. Think of the shoulders as broad. Think of the lungs and the shoulders expanding to the sides of the room. As you breathe, we're about halfway there. You got it. Hold on here. Stay strong. Core is engaged. Pushing the earth away with everything you got. We've got 20 seconds to go. Hold your plank. Just breathe. Don't hold your breath. Don't sweat it.
Stay strong, take a break if you need to, come down to your knees, go down to a downward facing dog if you want to for the last 5 seconds. And when you're ready, we are now done. Come on down to your knees, grab a drink of water, shake it up periodically. If you've always been doing a high plank, switch it. Do the dolphin plank. Occasionally, lie on your back, push your arms up to the sky, and just be. Nothing wrong with being, you don't always have to do. Grab a drink. Let's do some core stuff. All right, so how are you doing? Do your little self-assessment. See how you're feeling. Feeling stronger, feeling more flexible, feeling more mobile. That's the objective, and just feeling good. All right, Supta Baddha Konasana sit-ups. Soles of your feet touch, knees open wide, hands to prayer center. Big breath in, mantra time. Tell yourself that good statement. Come on back, all the way down to your mat. Maybe bring your heels a little closer to your groin or farther away, whatever feels good. Knees open wide. Bring your hands, your fingertips lightly to your temples. Elbows open wide, just like your knees. When you're ready to exhale, lift on up through the shoulders, letting your chin go up to the sky. Inhale down. Exhale up. Inhale down. Little lifts and little lowers. Take it with control. On the lowers, when you come down, don't just let it come down. Be mindful. Have your head in the game. You're lifted, your core is strong. You really feel it here. Keep the core strong and with control, lower it down. You're in control. You're the boss of you. Lift and lower, keeping the core engaged and strong. So think of the belly button going back to the spine. Holding it, staying strong, lifting and lowering. The lift, you're just as strong as on the lower. And then we'll finish up here. Let's do a bicycle pose. Bring your knees together. Feet can stay down on your mat. You could bring your fingers lightly to your temples, lift out of the shoulders like you did earlier, press your feet into your mat, and then do little twists. Right elbow toward left knee, left elbow toward right knee, and then just little twists here. Totally fine if that's what you want to do today. An option would be to bring your knees over your hips and your shins parallel to the sky. Draw your toes towards your shins. Ooh, feel your tailbone deep and planted into the mat. Elbows open wide as your fingers are lightly to your temples. Peel your shoulders on up and then bring them on down. All right, so with the shoulders down, you could ride a recumbent bicycle. Drive through your heels and keep the shoulders down. Let that feel good. Add in the shoulders if you want. Opposite elbow toward opposite knee as your legs are pedaling out through the heels. Maybe you'd like to straighten your legs and scissor kick them, sending one leg to the sky and the other leg long toward the ground. Breathe. Let that heel tap the ground. Breathe. There's your bicycle. Let's finish. Stick pose. Arms reach long to the top of your mat. Toes point long to the bottom of your mat. Biceps are hugged near your ears. Stretch it out. Breathe. Let it go. Boat pose, Navasana. Here's what you can do today. Let's take it on your forearms. Elbows are under your shoulders. Legs are long. You're looking down to your feet. Maybe today you want to lift one foot or the other. Maybe today you lift both legs up and hold it here. Maybe lift them a little higher and hold. Keep your chest lifted to the sky. Don't sag in the shoulders. Chest is lifted. Maybe you lower your legs a little bit and hold it here. Find the sweet spot for you today. Where is it a challenge that you want to take on, that you want to conquer? Hold it. Maybe bring them on up for your break and then lower them down a little bit. Maybe a little bit more. Hold it, hold it, hold it. You got it. Maybe lift them a little higher and breathe. Maybe bring them a little lower and breathe. Maybe bend them. Come down onto your shoulders and hug the knees in. Hands underneath your knees. Hug the left knee in, hug the right knee in. Now scoop out your belly. Send your legs along. Arms go high overhead and a little bit of a lift here. Lift in the shoulders and hold it. Hold it. Nice little low boat. come on up to a seated position. There you go. Different little variation of boat. Legs go long on your mat, toes up toward the sky. Arms reach up and breathe. Hi, Tammy and Tyrone, Marietta, Diane, Stan, Liz, Kelly, Rena, Tim, Connell, and Nancy. Glad you guys are here. Lengthen, breathe. Hinge forward, reach your fingers forward. Toes are up toward the sky. Stretch out your low back, look forward. Look forward and reach your fingers farther. Little bend in your knees might feel good. Now take a restorative forward fold. Hands to your calves, elbows hugged in. Look down to your knees, then close your eyes. Inhale, lengthen in your spine. Exhale, draw your belly button toward your spine and imagine your nose touching your knees. Just imagine it. Your eyes are closed. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen. You're going to come up a little bit. Fill your belly. Exhale, fold. Finish. Come on up, shoulders over your hips. Let's do our lunge. Find your 2 blocks. Hopefully you've got 2 blocks. If you don't have them, you can still do it, but it's just a little more comfortable and doable with the blocks. So come to standing on your knees. You got the blocks by your sides. Bring one leg forward, the right leg. Right knee over right ankle. Press into your blocks or into the earth and send your left leg long on your mat. You can put a towel under your left knee, but really get set up well here. You want to feel a big stretch in your left front of your hip. All right, so right knee is over right ankle. Hands can be on those blocks. You can press on up, interlace your fingers, press into that right thigh. Bring your shoulders over your hips a little bit more, let it be. Maybe act as if you're sliding that whole thigh forward more. Bringing the knee forward of the ankle is fine in this pose. Feeling a deep stretch in the left side, the left leg, the front of the left leg, the left hip flexors. And then when you're ready, let's walk it on back with the blocks or not. Straightening the right leg as you take like a little half splits here. Have a seat on your left heel. Maybe or maybe not. You decide. Breathe. Come back to that starting position. Let the knee go forward of the ankle. Just feel that big stretch in the left hip flexor. You can intensify the stretch by bringing the shoulders more over the hips. You could lift your arms up to the sky and take a little back bend. Bring your hands back to prayer center. Woo, tell yourself your good thoughts. And when you're ready, let's go one more time. Hips back to the heel, with or without your blocks. Hold it here. Breathe in, breathe out. You got it. Let's come forward and let's switch the knees. Shoulders are over the hips, knees together on your mat. Left foot forward. All right, left knee over left ankle. Take the time. Get set up real good here. All right, knee goes back. Top of the right foot is on your mat. Oh, I feel the big stretch in the right hip flexors already. Stay right here. Maybe press on up a little bit more on your blocks. If you stay with your hands on the blocks, totally fine. The only thing we're going for is the right level of depth of stretch in that right hip for you, nobody else. Taking it in layers is how you find what's best for you. All right, I'm gonna bring my shoulders up a little bit more over my hips. I'm gonna interlace my fingers. I'm gonna press that left thigh forward, stretching it out. How does that feel? Just take a moment here. How are you feeling in that right hip flexor? Do you wanna take it farther? Do you wanna take it less? Breathe. All right, I'm gonna reach for the blocks. I'm going to straighten the left leg. I'm gonna come back, bringing my bottom toward my right heel. You don't have to go all the way either. No rules. You do what's right for you. Yeah, I would say there is one rule. And the one rule I say all the time is don't hurt yourself. You know when you're going somewhere where you shouldn't be. We all know that. If it's starting to hurt, don't do it. Take it to a lesser percentage. Come out of it. All right, I'm gonna go back, forward again. Gonna let that knee come forward of that ankle. I'm gonna bring my shoulders up over my hips, and then I'm gonna take a back bend. But you don't have to. I hope you're doing what's right for you. and only you. Maybe your back bend is a lot farther than mine. Everybody's different. Bring my hands back to prayer center and tell myself my mantra. And then I'm going to bring my hands back to my blocks. One more time, I'm going to straighten the left leg, either walk the blocks back or no blocks at all. I'm going to have a seat on the heel. Maybe you're close to it or not close to it at all. Hands to prayer center. I'm going to press on back up. I'm going to come back to that starting position. Now I'm going to come to a standing position. I'm going to bring my right foot to meet my left. You come to standing however feels good, but just try to use the strength in your legs and your strong core to get up. If you need to use your hands, totally fine, but try to use your core to lift you up and come to standing. Once you're standing, let's do our standing poses. All right, so feet are well planted. Lift your arms up high to the sky and start to balance again on the balls of your feet. Lift and lower, you got it. Fingers are reaching high to the sky. There's your extended mountain. Come up onto the toes, balls of the feet. Nice. Plant your feet, lift your toes, give them a wiggle. Let's do that you will look taller pose. Zip your legs up, zip them up, and bring your arms up overhead. Bring your arms up overhead and bring them into the shape of a letter Y. Think of the words, you will look taller. Think of the letter of each of those words. You're going to bring your body into that shape. The trick here is to push and press the backs of your hands to the back of the room as much as you can. So feel the chest lift. Working on your posture here, and this will make you look taller. Press the backs of your hands to the back of the room. You. Now bend your elbows, bringing your elbows down, creating a W shape in your arms, but don't be passive here. Squeeze your shoulders back. Squeeze your shoulders towards your spine. Feel strong in the upper back. 2 L's, forward and backward, forearms parallel to the earth. Squeeze those elbows in to your ribs. Breathe, be tight, be strong. Tee out your arms for the word terrific or taller and pulse your hands to the back of the room. Let's do it again. You know all the rules here. Press the backs of your hands, most importantly, to the back of the room and squeeze and tighten as you go. Let's go. You will look taller. Pulse your hands to the back of the room. Nice job. Let your arms float down by your sides. Close your eyes and imagine good, strong, solid, straight, perfect posture. Crown of the head lifts, shoulders are relaxed. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Let it go, let it go, let it go. Tree pose, Vrikasana. All right, so big balancing pose. Have your chair nearby if you want. Send your balance into one foot or the other. Open up the knee of the opposite leg to the side of the room. Balance on the ball of the foot or bring the heel in to meet the foundational leg. Bring the foot a little higher if you want. Hold on to the chair if you like. Slip the foot up as high as you like, but just skip over that knee. You do not want to put your foot onto your knee. You don't want that side pressure on the knee. Not a good way to be. Focus forward, hands to prayer center. Look up to where your ceiling and your wall meet. Arms can lift as you grow branches from your tree. Wiggle your fingers, those little branches. Sway the big branches from side to side. Maintain your balance. If you fall out, get back in. Hands to prayer center. Guide the knee to the front of the room. Plant the feet next to each other on your mat. Take a big breath in, lengthen up. And a big breath out, soften up. Tree on the other side, root into the opposite leg. Open up the other knee. Find your sweet spot. Maybe the toes stay on the earth. Maybe it comes a little higher. Maybe higher still. Press the foot into the leg and the leg back into the foot. Hips are equidistant to the front of the room. Outside of the bent knee goes to the back of the room. Hands can stay at prayer center as you focus up. Arms can lift. Don't look at me because it'll throw you off. Don't look at anything that's moving. Wiggle your fingers, those little branches. Sway your arms, those big branches. Push that foot into the leg. Hands back to prayer center. Guide the knee to the front of the room. Foot meets foot. Nice job. Let's do our warrior 3. Take a big step forward with your right foot. You can balance on the toes of the left foot, but send more weight into your right leg. You want to be with the weight on the right leg. Balance, just, a little kickstand with the back left foot, if that's what you want to do. You can lift the leg up. You can keep your hands at your waist. You could send your arms long to the front of the room and bring your body into a capital letter T shape. Hold it, stay strong, you've got it. Bring your left leg to meet the right, hands back to your hips, straighten up. Lengthen up, take an extended mountain, arms reach. Hands back to your hips. Step back with your right foot and step forward with your left foot. Same difference, you just want the left foot forward. Stay right here if you like. Maybe hinge forward, weight comes into the left leg. Right leg, a little bit of a kickstand. Right leg lifts. You're stable, you're strong, you can be holding onto a chair. Arms can reach if you want. Right leg can go back, lengthen through the crown of your head, create that capital letter T shape, hold it, and then finish. Hands back to your hips, right foot meets left, nice balancing. Chair pose, bend your knees and hold on to your hips, or a chair, hold on here. Send more weight back into your heels. What feels more comfortable, for me at least, and more stable, is to reach my arms forward. So a bit of a counterbalance. Your weight is back into your heels. Your arms are reaching forward. Lift your toes up. That'll ensure you got your weight in your heels. Sink your hips a little lower. Wiggle your toes. Breathe. Hold it here. Stay strong in those thighs. And what I want you to do is think about. So bring your hands to prayer center. So think about when you get up and out of a chair. Do not put your hands on the sides of the chair. It becomes habit. It becomes a habit more than anything else. Chances are you don't need to put your hands on on the arms of the chair. Your legs are strong. Your quads are strong. Your glutes are strong. We're always working on them. Stay strong in your legs. Your legs are strong enough to get you to stand up without using your hands. And while you're at it, don't make noises when you stand up either. Don't go, "Huh." Don't make those noises. I'm guilty. Don't make those noises. Sink your bottom a little bit lower. Hold on here, hands at prayer center. Breathe. Your thighs are super, super strong. Now get up, stand up. See, you did it. Your quads are strong. Your legs are strong. You can do it. Let's fold forward. Fold forward, fingers toward the earth. Bring your hands down to the mat. Bend your knees nice and slowly. Come on down to your mat and find a seat. All right. So in your seated position, toes up toward the sky, arms reach long, lift. Exhale, fold forward, reach your fingers toward the front of the room. Now this time, toes are up toward the sky. Reach for your toes. If you can't reach your toes, that's fine. Nobody's judging you. Reach to your knees. Slide your hands down your shins. Reach, reach, reach as far as feels right for you. Find that mobility. Maybe you bring your hands to touch your toes. Maybe you bring your wrists over your toes and the palms of your hands are touching the palms of your feet. Draw your toes towards your shins and send your gaze down towards your knees. Little bend in your knees might feel good. Breathe. Come on up, shoulders over your hips. Find a block or two if you want. Spread your legs nice and wide, and then bring your blocks in between your legs. Rest your elbows on the blocks. Remember, your blocks have lots of height, so adjust them so it feels right for you. Just stretch out those inner thighs, those adductor muscles. And you can bring your forearms down, whatever feels right. I mean, it's not hard and fast rules for anything, right? Maybe you hinge forward, bringing your head down to your block. Maybe you adjust your block height. Maybe you need to put a little bend in your knees. Maybe that feels better. Maybe you need to bring your legs a little closer together. Just do what feels the best for you right now. Breathe in, breathe out. Those are the tricks. And when you're ready, let's come on back up. Shoulders over your hips, legs come together. Roll over onto your belly. All right, on your belly, let's do that Sphinx pose. All right, so for Sphinx, what you want to do is get your hips resting into your mat. Forearms are parallel to each other, just like when we did that forearm plank. Elbows under your shoulders, fingers spread wide, press the tops of your feet into your mat, and then send your gaze forward. Think of lengthening long in the front of your neck and the front of your chest. Feel the compression in your low back. Breathe in. Breathe out. There's your Sphinx pose. Let's slide it to a Cobra pose. So bring your legs together more. Press the tops of your feet into your mat as your big toes touch. Slide your arms down so they're under your collarbones. Hug your elbows in towards your chest, towards your armpits, towards your back. Take a big inhale, lengthen, your neck is long. And exhale, soften. On your next inhale, gaze down your nose and lift out of the chest. Lift, press a little bit of weight into your hands, press into your fingertips, or no weight into your hands at all. Gaze forward, and then finish. Hands come down, gaze goes down, forehead comes down. Breathe in, exhale. Inhale, straighten the elbows, press on up to your seal pose. In your seal pose, soften in your glutes, create space for your low back. Come on up to standing on your knees. Little gentle baby camel. So while standing on your knees, you want your shoulders over your knees and your shoulders over your hips and your hips over your knees. Push your hands into your low back, lean on back, look on up to the sky. Just take a gentle baby camel. You don't have to go very far. Just push your hips forward. You want to feel it in the hip flexors. Look up, maybe look back. You got it. Let's have a seat on our heels. Take a deep breath in, hands on your thighs. Deep breath in and deep breath out. Let it go. Let's take a downward facing dog to come into half pigeon pose. Hands come down. You're in a neutral tabletop. Tuck your toes to your shins. Send your hips high, down dog. Feet are hip width distance apart. Heels slightly elevated. Arms are shoulder width distance apart, pressing into the earth. Think of your tailbone lifting higher to the sky. Shake your neck as your gaze should be back toward your knees or your belly button. Pedal your heels and breathe. Still your heels, stretch out the foot, and then kick your right leg high to the sky. Kick it, move the knee, let it feel good, move it around. When you're ready to exhale, bring the right knee behind the right wrist. Left leg goes long on your mat. Put a towel under the left knee if that feels better. Work your right shin a little more parallel to the top of the mat. Keep your arms straight here, they're in front of your leg. You should be feeling a nice big stretch in your glutes. All right, here's what you can do. Press into your fingertips as you bring your shoulders more over your hips. Maybe you lift one hand, maybe you lift the other, maybe you bring both hands up in kind of like an I surrender position. Keep both hips equal distant to the mat, hold on. Hands come down, you don't have to lift the hands. Press your palms into the mat, tuck your back, left toes under, send your right leg back to meet the left and shake it out in what is called your three-legged down dog. Plant the right foot, pedal out both feet, shake your neck. Still your feet, kick your left leg high. Move it around, just move it. That's what we want to do. As you're ready to exhale, bring your left knee behind your left wrist. Right leg goes long on your mat, top of the right foot on your mat. Right hand grabs the left foot and works the shin a little more parallel to the top of the mat. Hands come down to the mat, adjust your hips so your hips are equal distant to the mat. Gaze forward, maybe come on up to your fingertips or not, you decide. Lengthen through that right foot, gaze is forward, maybe one hand comes up, maybe the other. Squeeze your shoulders back, elbows down and hold it here for a moment. Hands come down. Breathe in, breathe out. Tuck your back right toes under, or tuck your back right toes towards your shin. Send your left leg back and high and shake it out. Bring both feet to meet on your mat. Slowly bend the knees. Come into your little bear plank. Hinge the weight forward, shoulders over your hips. Just hold it here for a second. Then come down to your knees. When you're ready, come on down to your bottom. Grab your eye shade and your towel and bring it up near your shoulders. Okay, so let's do bridge. Hands to prayer center, your positive little mantra. Lengthen up, soles of your feet are on your mat. Come on down to recline. Maybe hold it midway just for a second because your core is strong. And then come all the way down. Once you're all the way down, bridge pose. Soles of your feet are on your mat, arms down by your sides. Press into your feet so your hips come up. Wiggle your shoulders toward your spine. You feel like your bridge has gone up 10 feet. Lift your hips even higher. Arms down by your sides. Breathe in, breathe out. Come on down, roll your spine down, one vertebra at a time. Extend your left leg long. Draw the left toes toward the shin so your left calf touches the earth. Bend your right knee and hug the right knee in. If you can't quite reach it, use your towel. Circle the ankle right and left, supine twist. Left hand holds the right knee, crosses over the midline of the body, twist and look to the right. Bring the right hip down, hug the knee in, right leg goes long, toes of the right foot toward the shin, left leg drags up. Interlaced fingers, hug it in, circle the ankle, why not, whenever you can. Right hand guides the left knee across the midline, roll on the right hip. Encourage the knee down. Think of that, remember that big twist we did when we did our big coat swing? Take that same twist here in the waist. Left arm tees out, look left. Left hip comes down, hug the right knee in, send the left leg and right leg long. Now draw both heels up. Core is strong. That's how you're gonna pull those legs up, up, up. Left hand captures left knee, right hand captures under right knee. Circle the ankles this way and that. Roll a little bit on your low back. Let it feel good. Take your happy baby. Maybe this is your happy baby. Maybe your hands reach towards your ankles. Maybe your hands reach towards your heels. Send one leg up to the sky, then the other. Breathe. And when you're ready, finish up. Legs go high and straight, ankles touch. Let your legs float down with control all the way down to your mat. Final Shavasana. Arms down by your sides. Place your eye shade or your towel over your eyes to cover the eyes. Wiggle your shoulders closer to your spine as your chest lifts up to the sky. Palms face up if that feels good. Nothing wrong with having them palms down either. Breathe in. Sigh it out. Spread your legs a little bit so they're comfortable. Wiggle your hips, pinky toes toward the edges of your mat. Soften the area between your eyebrows and breathe. Big breath in, belly pooches up to the sky. Big breath out, your belly button goes back to touch your spine. This is your final Shavasana. Let everything go, let everything be heavy, release everything, the area between the eyebrows, the tongue from the roof of your mouth, let it go. Stay here longer, if you like, by pressing the pause on your remote. Enjoy this pose as long as it speaks to you. When you're ready to conclude your practice, hit that play again and meet us back here, where we wiggle our fingers and wiggle our toes, wiggle our wrists and our ankles. Take a big inhale, reach high overhead, point your toes, reach your fingers, stretch like you stretch before you even get out of bed in the morning. Breathe. As you exhale, bend your knees and your elbows, roll onto one side or the other. Low arms bicep is a pillow for your head. Rest and close your eyes. Top shoulder is soft. Breathe in, breathe out. All right, time to test. Think about this. Do you want to press up with your hands or not? Think about it. Be conscious of what you do. Eyes can be opened or closed. Make your way up to a comfortable seated position. And what's comfortable for you? I'm going to sit in this little like modified deer pose today. So bring your hands to prayer center, lengthen up. Exhale, soften up. Big inhale, lengthens through the spine. Big exhale allows you to root firmly into the earth, the strong foundation. All right, blink your eyes open. How did you do? You took a stress number in the beginning. What was it? And what is it now? You moved your body a lot today. Believe in your abilities today and every day. Go back to your mantra periodically. Take deep breaths and know that you are braver than you believe, you are stronger than you seem, and you're smarter than you think. Believe it. See you on your mats tomorrow, everybody. Love you. Goodbye. Hello, Piper. Good girl. Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, gentleness, faithfulness, and self-control. Love you. Bye. You're still here, and I'm really glad for that. Keep this in mind. The path is made through repetition. Keep showing up, and good things will happen. You know that. I'm glad that you're still sticking around. Tell your friends what the yoga's doing for you. Our yoga is free for anybody and everybody on Facebook and YouTube, and they can join in anytime from the privacy of their own home. Tell them about our practice, please. If you'd like to support our broadcast, you can visit our website. It's www.316yoga.com. Stay on your path, enjoy your yoga, and have a great rest of your day. See you on your mats tomorrow.